Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin, and for today's video we are going to be doing something a little bit different. I have been seeing a lot of TBR jar prompt videos, and I have always been intrigued to kind of do one of those videos because I feel like it's really fun kind of having a lot of these prompts and then kind of choosing based off of those prompts rather than just looking at your TBR and being like, okay, what books am I going to read? And as you guys know, or maybe you don't know, I am a big mood reader, and I feel like that's kind of how I've been choosing the books that I've read. But I just finished a book yesterday and I have no idea what I want to read next. Like, I'm not in the mood to really pick up one book over another, or I don't have a mood for a specific genre. I kind of am just really open to reading anything right now, so I felt like it would be a good idea to film this video and kind of have something else choose my TBR rather than my mood. Also, I really want to prioritize reading from my physical TBR. I'm not officially like on a real book buying ban, but I really want to prioritize reading the books that I have right now before I go and purchase any more books. So this is also going to help me look at the books that are on my TBR and really focus my energy on those. So I spent all of last night coming up with 30 TBR jar prompts that I have put in this very cute jar of mine, and we are going to go through and pick 7 of them. I think I can read 7 books this month. I feel like that's challenging but also realistic a little bit. I'm also going to be going on spring break next week, so I'm gonna have a little bit more time to read. I'm feeling very ambitious this month, and again, I just am open to reading anything and everything right now. Like, I'm not like leaning towards any one book or any one genre, so I'm just like, I'm really excited to see what kind of prompts that I'm gonna pull out of this. I remember some of them, and then some of them I've already forgotten. I have one in here that it says no romance and no fantasy, because that is all I read and I'm sick of it. Like, I'm so sick of just reading romance and fantasy, and I'm going to be intentional with the books that I do choose. I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm gonna choose the 7 TBR job prompts, and then we are going to look at my bookshelf and select the books. I'm just gonna, I don't know how people do it. I'm gonna close my eyes and, okay, we're gonna pick the 7 first and then we'll pick the books. Okay, first one, a book I know nothing about. Okay, a book I know nothing about. Okay, there's a lot of them. When you pick books based off the cover or based off of vibes, honey, there's a good few I can choose. A 5-star prediction. 5-star prediction. Okay. I'm looking at my bookshelf now and I'm like, there's not many of those. This is number 3. A Goodreads winner or nominee. Okay, I like that one. That's 3. Okay, we're on 4 now. A book released last year. Okay. A book you bought because a book content creator recommended it. It's like half my bookshelf right now. So this is thinking about BookTube, Bookstagram, Book Talk, all the book platforms, or platforms where people talk about books. This is 6, I think. Give an author a second chance. I didn't want this one. So this says give an author a second chance. There's one author in my mind where I'm like, she would be perfect for that, but I don't have any of her other books because I hated her first book so much. I don't know if there's an author on my bookshelf that I didn't like their first book and I need to give them a second chance. I'm gonna hold on to it. I don't know if I have. Oh, I know who.
What was that?
It just hit me. I know who to do this one for. We need one more. Okay. Yes! Okay, not a romance or fantasy. Yes! We have our TBR prompts. Now we need to go to the bookshelves and select the books. I will figure out what I'm going to read in March. Welcome to my bookshelf. I also have books on my windowsill, so if I think that one of these will go with those books on my windowsill, I'll go grab them. We are going to go through our prompts and now figure out which books would match the prompts. So the first one I want to do is not a romance or fantasy. I'm just ready to read something different. There's lots of books that are not romances or fantasies. Okay, I think I have 3 books that might fit the bill. So the first book I picked up is Open Water, and I've had this book on my bookshelf for a really long time. It's really short. It's a love story, but when I think of romance, like, this is not, and I feel like most people aren't going to look at this and be like, oh, this is a romance. Like, it's a love story, but it's so much more than that. It's fiction, it's poetry, like, it encompasses more than just, I think, your typical romance novel. So this is potentially one that I might choose for this prompt. There's also When No One Is Watching, which is more of a thriller. I had this on my TBR in October and I never got to it. I've heard good things about it. And then Actually, no, I'm not gonna show you the next one because I might select that one for a different prompt. So it's between these two. Do I want to read a thriller? I feel like this one's gonna make me cry though. I kind of want to read a thriller. I kind of want to do it. Okay, so we're gonna do When No One Is Watching for not a romance or fantasy. The next one, a 5-star prediction. This one, when I got it, I was like, okay, I know exactly what book I'm going to choose for this one. Magnolia Park's Into the Dark. Y'all, I got it. I have it. I was so excited for this book to come into the mail. If you do not know, this is the last book in the Magnolia Parks series as far as Magnolia and BJ's story goes. There's still going to be books in the Daisy Hates kind of timeline. This follows Magnolia and BJ, and this is kind of their conclusion to their messy and dramatic story. So I'm so excited to read this. I felt like my journey through this series has just been all over the place, but I loved the last book, Daisy Hates the Great Undoing, and then the last book of Magnolia Parks, I gave it a 4 stars. I think it was Take Me Home. Long Way Home, Long Way Home. So I'm really excited to just see how Magnolia and BJ stories is gonna end and to see kind of all the characters again. And I just feel like this book is going to wreck me. I did not realize how thick it is though. Like, this is insane. But I do see myself giving this book 5 stars, so this will be my 5-star prediction. Let's do a Goodreads winner or nominee. I'm gonna grab my phone for this. Looking at the winners, I have a couple of the winners. So Yellowface was a winner of 2023. I read that last year. And then I have Happy Place. I have Fourth Wing. I have Divine Rivals. I could choose one of those 3, but I'm gonna look at the full nominees for 2023. I see Mame, Yours Truly, and Love Theoretically are also nominees. Wildfire by Hannah Grace is also a nominee that I have. I feel like I'm going to end up choosing a romance because that's just what I have the most of. I'm just going to use this as my romance selection, so I'm not feeling Fourth Wing or Divine Rivals. I'm not in the mood to read Happy Place. I've never read anything by Abby Jimenez, but I don't know if I want to read that. Love Theoretically, my friend read it and she really liked it. I'm gonna read it because she read it and she really liked it. We're gonna go with Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood as a Goodreads winner or nominee. Give an author a second chance. So when I read this one, there was one author that came to mind, and I guess she's the only one that really fits the bill. I'm about to hurt some people's feelings. So I read A Court of Thorns and Roses. Actually, that's such a lie. I started reading A Court of Thorns and Roses. I don't even know how many years ago. As you can see, I have the original cover because I got it from Books A Million on sale for $4. And I read it to like page 180 something and I DNF'd it because I was like, this book is not working for me. So I just set it aside. However, one of my friends, she is obsessed with the ACOTAR world, obsessed with Sarah J. Maas, and she was like, Caitlin, you have to pick it up again, you have to read it again, like you have to. And I've just been like, I've been putting it off, like I'll get to it when I get to it. So I could pick this book up, or I also have Throne of Glass. Again, I have the older covers because I bought this way before it kind of, not blew up because it already was really popular, but I guess before the new covers came out. And this is different than ACOTAR if I'm not feeling ACOTAR. Which one should I do? Should I try this book again and get back into this world? Or should I, still the same author, but I go into another series of hers that she has? But I also heard with Throne of Glass, you should not read this one first. You should read Assassin's Blade first, right? This is actually really confusing. Because if I want to read Assassin's Blade first, then I would need to get Assassin's Blade. You know what? I'm going to read ACOTAR again. I'm going to try it again. We'll see how we feel after that, if I want to continue on with that series or maybe start Throne of Glass. Next one I have is a book you bought because a book content creator recommended it. I have a lot of those. There's so many. It's actually overwhelming. I'm gonna choose this one. This is Rest is Resistance, a manifesto. I don't think this is not fiction. I think this is non-fiction, actually. I follow this content creator on Instagram called Interested in Black Books, or that's not her name. I think her actual name is Chinello, but her Instagram handle is Interested in Black Books, and she made a review on this or a book reflection on this, and I was just so captivated. I'm always captivated by everything that she writes about and how she just recommends, and not necessarily recommends, but just how she writes about books books and kind of her thoughts and her reflections. They're written in a way that I just want to do nothing but pick up that book, and I've added so many books on my TBR because of her recommendations. I don't know the last time I read a nonfiction book, so I'm going to pick up Rest is Resistance, and I am excited to read this because she absolutely raved about it. So we have 2 more prompts. The next one is a book released last year, so 2023. Again, I have so many books to choose from with this one. I'm leaning towards Wildfire by Hannah Grace, which is the second book in the Maple Hills series, and it follows Icebreaker, and it is about, what's his name? Russ and Aurora, and kind of their story. He's a hockey player, but it's not like set during like hockey season, I don't think. So I could read this. I have Never by Jessa Hastings. I don't know if I can do 2 Jessa books in a month. Like that's a lot. There's Mame that I could definitely pick up instead. Oh my gosh, you know, actually, I'm gonna pick up Homebodies by Tembe Denton Hurst because I remember going to the bookstore and picking this book up because I loved the cover. I think this is more literary fiction. Yeah, just, or I guess just like fiction in general. So I'm gonna choose this one instead. And the last prompt that I have is a book I know nothing about. I have The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. This book I picked up because I was at Barnes & Noble with my sister, and one of the booksellers came over and was like, I highly, highly, highly recommend this book. And he told me what it was about, and it was so intriguing, but I forgot. This would also be my first N.K. Jemisin book. I would like to get into her work. I know she wrote, that title of the book that she wrote that I'm thinking about isn't coming to me, but I think it's more fantasy. Masters of Death is also one. Okay, that's nice. But this is also one that I don't know much about, like, at all. I simply picked this book up because, I mean, must I say more? That's why I bought this book. So I don't know anything about this book. So I feel like it would be really cool to read this and see kind of beyond the pretty cover. The Gilded Wolves is also one that I bought that I don't know much about either. The High Mountain Court is another one that I bought that I don't know much about. I feel like I'm leaning towards one of these. I wish you guys were here to help me decide which one to read. I think I'm gonna go with Masters of Death because I feel like I know less about this one. I feel like with this one, because he told me a little bit what it was about, and I don't fully remember it completely, but I have like little inklings about what it's about. This one is completely nothing, like brain empty. Like I don't know anything about this, so I feel like this one matches the prompt better. We have all our prompts. Let's move back to our seat and kind of do a rundown of all the books that we are going to be reading for the month of March. Oh boy. All right, so here we have all of the books on my March TBR. So let's do a quick rundown of the books that I selected. So for the prompt, not a romance or a fantasy, we chose When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. And then for a Goodreads winner or nominee, we chose Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. For Give an Author a Second Chance, we chose A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. And then a book you bought because a book content creator recommended it, we chose Rest is Resistance, a manifesto by Tricia Hersey. And then for a book I know nothing about, we chose Masters of Death by Olivia Blake. And then for a 5-star prediction, we chose Magnolia Park's Into the Dark. And then last but certainly not least, for a book released last year, so 2023, we chose Homebodies by Tembe Denton Hurst. Those are all of the books on my March TBR that I selected using the TBR jar prompt. This was really, really fun. A little bit more stressful than I thought it would be. I felt like I had so many books to choose from, and again, trying to be intentional and not choosing just romance, and also not even choosing fantasy. Like fantasy is I'm a little bit more open to reading fantasy, but I just finished reading a fantasy series, so I'm not really in the mood to read too much fantasy. So I'm really excited for the books on my March TBR. I have a lot of fun ones. I have a lot of ones outside of the genre that I typically read, or the genres that I typically read, so it's gonna be really fun. Let me know what books are on y'all's March TBR. If you've read any of these books, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. This was really fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like these TBR jar prompt videos, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and comment that down below because I will do more of them if you guys like them. And I don't know, I think it's really fun. I think it's a fun way to choose a TBR, and I'm going to try my best to stick to it as possible. So yes, thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!